You're listening to the Simplifiers Podcast, where we take topics in business and in life and simplify them. Award-winning event producer and educator Mary Baird-Wilcock, CSEP, will help you break it all down, figure it out, and spark you to do the thing. It's time to simplify. Here's your host, mentor, and undercover superhero, Mary Baird-Wilcock.
Hello and welcome back to the Simplifiers Podcast, where the secret to life is all about simplifying. In fact, doing less in order to thrive and accomplish more. And on Fridays, we release a short bonus episode highlighting a super thought of the day. These mini episodes will help you spark new ideas, new ways of thinking, or simply challenge some old beliefs that you might have. And today, I kind of want to go a slightly different route than usual. Today, my friends, is a day to celebrate as we officially cross over the 1-year mark for the Simplifiers Podcast. I mean, so many times in life, we are just go, go, go. We're chasing after, or I dare say, striving for the next big thing in life. And then we forget to actually slow down and celebrate how far we've come. So I thought I'd take a moment to reflect on this past year and the lessons that I've learned in launching this podcast. And along the way, I'm going to sprinkle in a few messages from our gospel choir of listeners just like you from around the world, like this one. Hi, thanks for calling the Simplifiers. After the beep, get ready to record your message.
Hey, Mary, congratulations on your 1-year milestone. This is Sophia. I am leaving this message from Barbados. I love the Simplifiers. It's a great podcast. My favorite episode was Gary Chapman and the love languages, which is one of my favorite ideas or concepts, whatever you want to call it. It really transformed my relationships, work relationships, and personal. So it was so nice to hear that conversation. Keep up the good work, and here's to another year of simplifying. Bye.
Okay, so here are my top 5 lessons that I've learned in the first year of launching a podcast. Lesson number 1, treat it like a business. I mean, even if this was a pet project or a hobby podcast, I'd still recommend putting structure, workflows, teams, and deadlines in place to ensure that you're consistently releasing the episodes on a standardized schedule. I mean, for us, that's Tuesday and Friday mornings. We drop 2 new episodes each and every week without fail. As you know, we release a long-form interview episode every Tuesday morning and then a short-form Thought of the Day episode every Friday morning as a bonus.
Hi there, Mary. It's Claire from Work by Design. I'm based in Nottingham. I've been listening to your podcast since you launched it back in March last year, and I am a big fan. I think I've had a couple of aha moments whilst listening to the podcast. Actually, there are so many people out there that have expertise, so knowledgeable and so insightful, and that actually being able to go to one place and listen to those people and be inspired those people is actually a really valuable use of my time. So thank you to you and to the Simplifiers team for bringing all of those people together. It helps me enormously and makes my stomping around the park to get my steps up far more enjoyable. Good luck with your 1-year anniversary. Can't wait to see you at our event on Thursday. Have a great March. Bye.
Which leads me to lesson learned number 2. Consistency is everything. So why the mornings? Well, because I know one thing is true about you, our listeners. You guys like to pop on our podcast during your morning commute or during the kids' school run. I mean, even with the little ones in the car, you can rest assured that our content is totally kid-friendly, in case little ears might be listening in the background. And since the majority of our listeners are female small business owners and freelancers who like to set their own schedule, and well, let's face it, we don't subscribe to the standard clock in, clock out, 9-to-5 lifestyle, it's important to me that our podcast downloads straight to your phone with military precision. I mean, you can count on us so that if your schedule fluctuates during the day, you can trust that we'll be here consistently for you in the moment where you need a spark of inspiration inspiration or maybe just a boost of confidence the most?
Hi, Mary. It's Mimi Bishop. I am the owner of Mimi Bishop Enterprises, and I'm a side hustle coach, and I'm calling in from New York. My favorite episode of the Simplifiers podcast was when you had one of my personal heroes, Jenny Shih, on. I love the way Jenny brought clarity and simplicity to what it's like to build a business. I really think this is important for people who are starting their business as a side hustle because really they don't have that much time and they need to be sure that they're able to take the exact steps that they need to take. And Jenny really talked about how to take those steps in a way that's really simple and ditching all of the overwhelm. I think that's really important. Congratulations on your first year. Keep up the great work.
So lesson learned number 3, be open to where it takes you. One of the most delightful details that I incorporated in, on a whim really, right from the get-go is on episode 1. That's where I ask every single guest to recommend one person that I should interview next on the Simplifiers podcast and why. This has been such a wonderful experiment as it's opened up doors to having deep conversations with some of the most incredible people who are truly up to amazing things in their little pocket in the world. For example, Jenny Shih led me to Bev Barnes, who led me to Abigail Stidley, which sparked me over to Carmen Schleffler and beyond. I mean, in that simple string of connections, we covered everything from simplifying how to build an email list to finding your soul's calling, to reconnecting mind, body, and spirit, and then clarifying your brand's message. So be open to where the evolution of the podcast takes you. Don't be too rigid in your idea of what it could look like and what it could be, so you can allow inspiration and spark and creativity take you to bigger and better places than you could ever imagine.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie Scott here. I live on the beach in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my company is An Intentional Business, and I'm the host of Intentional Conversations. I've been listening to the Simplifiers podcast since the beginning. It's one of my top 5 podcasts. I know I'll always learn so much. It's easy to follow. Things are simplified. And I always leave with a new tip or tool to apply to my business or my life. One of my favorite tips is Mary's 7-minute exercise. It is a go-to resource for me, and I use tangible resources to help me in life. Whether it's a solo episode or an episode with a guest, the topics that range from mindfulness to parenting to business to CBD oil, each episode seems to come at the exact time that I need it in my life. I always leave feeling inspired, ready, and with tangible resources to help me in life and in business. I'm so grateful to Mary, to her team, and her incredible guests.
So lesson learned number 4, your voice matters. You guys may or may not know this about me, but I used to be a radio DJ when I lived way back when in Austin, Texas. I DJ'd at 101X and Mix 94.7, playing some of my favorite tunes and getting to interview bands and musicians and celebrities. Okay, so this was way, way, way back in my 20s. Well, flash forward to my early 40s, and it's so nice to tap into these skills once again and apply it to the work that I get to do now. I love meeting new people, interviewing them, hearing their stories, and tapping into their brilliance by just simply being brave enough to ask smart questions. You know, the questions that others are too afraid to ask for risk of sounding or looking stupid, or just not sure if they should go that deep or not. Well, I throw all of that fear to the side. Well, I attempt to at least. And I boldly dive right in with this podcast by showing up authentically, having a laugh along the way, and learning alongside you guys. I find this work totally lights me up. As with any new skill you're mastering, repetition is key. The more and more you do something, the easier it is. So what I've learned along the way is that my voice is just as important as the expert I'm interviewing. Taking what they say, listening intently, then breaking it down in simple, practical tips. My intent always is to ask them the questions you'd want to ask them yourself, and then share what's working or not working in my own work and life as it relates to the topic. And because of that, you guys have told me that it's like listening in to two girlfriends sharing business secrets over coffee, and that you like this format. Well, awesome. I do too. And I think it makes for a much, much more interesting episode than just letting the guest rattle on and take the mic solo for the entire 30 minutes. So if you're thinking of starting a podcast yourself, ask your audience what they want to hear. I mean, be open to that feedback and then just give it a go. Don't be afraid to interject your voice and your opinions into the mix as well. Your insight is just as important as theirs. Test it as an experiment for 30 days and see what jives with your style of podcasting. That's where the magic is.
Hi, Mary. This is Victoria Hicks with Wild Heart Ministries. I'm based in Nottingham. I'm just calling to say how much I enjoyed listening to Maureen Healy podcast about how to raise an emotionally healthy child. She made a really, really good point that really hit home for me when she spoke about mindfulness and self-awareness being a positive tool for positive emotional health for children, and dealing with a child myself with some behavioral issues and moving on into the teenage years, it can be really, really tough and challenging. And I kind of had it confirmed listening to that I am on the right track by practicing self-awareness, not only for myself when conflict arises, but also to try and teach that to my children and how much it can help them, especially in these tough years and when there's also been conflict and issues in their life. So I really enjoyed that podcast. Thank you.
And finally, point 5, the most important bit in my opinion. Get help. Surround yourself with a team who are smarter than you. One thing I can tell you without a doubt is that I couldn't do this podcast without my team. If all of the aspects of doing the work landed on my shoulders, I'd either need to devote another 30 hours a week of work to my schedule or quit sleeping, neither of which I'm willing to do. So invest in your podcast and hire an experienced podcast editor and a podcast show notes producer at the very least. And this is coming from someone who's worked in commercial radio for 12 plus years previously. I mean, I know my way around audio editing, but I also know that I would waste so much precious time fiddling with it to make it perfect that I would struggle to meet my weekly deadlines and get those new episodes out every Tuesday and Friday. As the host, you're responsible for prepping before every episode, reading the guest books back to front, formulating smart questions, and coming to the table prepared so you can pull an Oprah and get the most out of them on the mic. You know, it sounds easier said than done, but in order to deliver world-class content through your podcast, you need to delegate the nitty-gritty machine work off to trusted, brilliant teammates. People who are experts at their work so you can focus on the things that light you up. You know, my podcast editor, Susan Marie, edits quite a few top podcasts out there, including Best Forevers, Fatalities, and the Connected Yoga Teacher podcast. And you can tell by the audio quality on this episode, guys, she's a superstar. Ping me a message in Instagram at The Simplifiers, and I'll be happy to connect you to her. She is worth every penny. My podcast show notes editor is Janine Yardley, and she makes it all look so simple. Every episode has detailed show notes written up and can be found at thesimplifierspodcast.com, where you can click on links to the books, apps, and resources mentioned in every single episode, making your listening experience that much richer. I mean, this is no small feat. So my next hire is a podcast producer, helping me book future guests, managing that aspect of the admin work, and pitching me for other podcasts and helping us gain more international press. Right now, I handle a lot of that work on my own, but as the podcast grows and grows, I am on the road more and more speaking at conferences and events. I'm already starting to notice I'm going to need to delegate this off my plate and fast. So if this position sounds intriguing to you, get in touch. thesimplifiers.com/contact is where to connect. We're looking for an expert simplifier here who's got at least 3 years of experience in this line of work for other podcasts. So if simplifying is your thing and PR is your game, let's chat.
Hi, I'm Jessica Lohmann, founder of Ethical Brand Marketing, located in Zelm, Germany. After listening to your episode of how to hire your first VA, I realized a couple of things. For one, to stop looking for a unicorn VA to be all things. They just need to be specialized in a few areas. I have very high expectations, and I'm trying to find someone to handle the printing and distribution of my book. I'd love to just find one person to do all this, but, I don't think it's possible. So thanks, Mary, for that wisdom. And another one is to let go. Also a control freak and an all-rounder. So I can do many, many things, but I can't excel in them all. Only in marketing strategy, my business. So thank you, Mary, for your wisdom and for bringing that home to me and inspiring me to rethink things and simplify them. Okay, have a great day. Bye.
End of messages.
Thanks, Jess, for your kind words. In addition to the voicemails you heard earlier, we also received a few 5-star reviews from you on Apple Podcasts, and I love connecting with you in the DMs of Instagram. So don't be shy, reach out, say hi, and let's chat, friends. Here's a big shout out to our listeners from 74 countries worldwide who sent us messages recently. Lizzie in the Wild, Audrey Eckelberger in San Antonio, Texas, Karina Lyburn in Nottingham, England, Brooke Craven, Helena Tice, Bettina and Ninora from NRI Woman, Jennifer Spills from Elgin, Texas, Jackie Wilson, Dorinda Miller of Into Deeper Waters, which, by the way, I love her audio meditations helping busy people stop and be still. Sherry Broder, LLC, Wendy Dastrup from Austin, Texas, Chrissy DeVinny from Los Angeles, California, Kristen Wynn from Round Rock, Texas, Lisa B.L., Sherelle Griffith from London, England, Crystal from Cherry Blossom Planning Factory, Debbie Duda from Sherwood, Rita Fillinger Thomas, Laura Curry, Nicole Morin from Austin, Texas, Catherine Mule, Michelle Gabato from Los Angeles, California, and Sally Twellman from Austin, Texas. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to visit thesimplifiers.com and click on the button Send Mary a Voicemail to share your one super tip that's helping you simplify your work and life these days. Mention your name, your city, and your one simple tip, and you might be featured on a future episode on the Simplifiers Podcast really soon. Also, big thanks to our undercover superheroes at the Simplifiers Podcast that help us create these episodes for you each and every week. Susan Marie, our podcast editor, Jeffrey Lynn, our video editor, Janine Yardley, our show notes editor, Leiden Yardley, our director of brilliance, Manminder Athwal, our blogger. And our advisory board includes Aubrey Nowitzki, Chris Justice, and George Mills. And I'm your host, Mary Baird-Wilcock. Okay, you guys, that's year 1, done and dusted, archived, and in the books. Looking forward to so many more to come. Thank you so much for telling your friends about the Simplifiers, and thanks again for tuning in. I cannot wait to reveal what's in store in Season 2 for you. I promise bigger name guests simplifying new topics for us, a chance for you to be featured on an upcoming episode by leaving a voicemail, fun giveaways of our favorite things that help my team and I simplify, and so much more. Thanks from the bottom of my heart for coming along on this journey with me. And as always, friends, keep things simple.
Thanks for listening to the Simplifiers Podcast. Find the show notes for this episode and all others at thesimplifierspodcast.com. Know someone in your life who needs to simplify? Be a hero and share our podcast with them. And we will see you here next time. As always, keep it simple.